Well, good morning, and welcome to the Wednesday Pastor Check-In with Pastor Brian. For the last time, that's me. Yes, so this is the last Wednesday Pastor Check-In, as this is my last week with you all. My last Sunday is on the 20th, this Sunday, before we prepare to transition me to Pella and be the pastor there, and you receive your new associate pastor, Trevor Vaughn, who will be working with you quarter time. So this won't be the last pastor check-in, as your pastors will continue to check in with you, but it's the last one for me. And it's no subtle metaphor of these boxes behind me as we move into this season of moving with an office work of boxes here and plenty at home. We're doing that whole thing of finding boxes that have stayed in that same spot since we moved in and wondering, do we really need any of this stuff if we haven't touched it in 2.5 years? But I know anybody that's moved has probably gone through that process of, oh, well, now that I know I have this beautiful thing, well, I'll totally use it at the next house. You may have a different mentality upon that, but we are quickly approaching that date as we move over to Pella on July 6th or 7th. And so that's where we're at with that. But I thought today I would draw us back once again to a place that we've gone a couple different times in these Wednesday Pastor Check-ins. And I'll start by asking if you watched Jeopardy on Monday. I don't know if you are a Jeopardy watcher. I really enjoy watching Jeopardy. Not because I get all the answers right, but because I feel smarter after having watched it, and Lord knows I need help in that department. But after the wonderful and unmatched Alex Trebek passed away last year, if you've watched a little bit, you know that they've been trying out hosts 2 weeks at a time, guest hosts. I think some of them are serious contenders for the job, and some are just for fun. But Savannah Guthrie from the Today Show, NBC Today Show, is the host this week. And so I was tuning in on Monday to get a taste of how she does at it. I think she does a great job in that role. But one of the questions was, I had to go find the answer, but it basically talked about the book of the Bible that says there's a time for this and a time for that, a time to live and a time to die. And I was the only person in the group of people that answered Ecclesiastes. And I kind of, I think I scared them with the answer and how excited I was about giving it. But I guess the pastor in the bunch is going to be the one that should probably know that. But you probably heard that scripture again, or probably heard that scripture, and I'm going to read it for us again. I mentioned before that it's because it talks about the breadth of life and the seasons that we are in. We hear it read at a lot of times. One of those times is at funeral services, but also I've heard this read at graduations. I've heard this read at moments of transitions. And here at a moment of transition for me and for you, I thought it would be appropriate. So this is Ecclesiastes 3, 1 through 8. For everything there is a season, and a time for every matter under heaven. A time to be born, and a time to die. A time to plant, and a time to pluck up what is planted. A time to kill, and a time to heal. A time to break down, and a time to build up. A time to weep, and a time to laugh. A time to mourn, and a time to dance. A time to throw away stones, and a time to gather stones together. A time to embrace, and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to seek, and a time to lose. A time to keep, and a time to throw away. A time to tear, and a time to sow. A time to keep silence, and a time to speak. A time to love, and a time to hate. A time for war, and a time to peace. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Well, what I love about this scripture is that it provides so many different entry points for our lives, and ultimately asks us the question, what time is it? And Ecclesiastes, we talk about ecclesiastical time. It's not a kind of time that moves in this direction from 1900 to 1910, 1920. No, it's a time that moves like this. It's cyclical. It's seasonal. You know, we have our 4 seasons, and they don't pass and never come back again. Winter turns to spring, turns to summer, turns to fall, turns to winter. And it moves more like this than like this. And so one of the things that gives me comfort in time of transition for me right now is that, a time to plant and a time to pluck up what is planted. Knowing, we especially know this as Methodist pastors, that wherever we're sent to be, we're sent to be planted to put down seeds and grow roots, that eventually there will come a time where the bishop, in consultation with the cabinet and the church and me and God, will pluck me up and prepare to send me to another place. And I think when I'm on this kind of linear time, it's a harder thing to accept than when I realize I was here for a season, and it was a good season, a plentiful and abundant season, but now I'm moving into another season of my life and my ministry, and so is the church. So is this wonderful faith community as you consider what next steps there are for you. I was excited to hear that Pastor Tim and the Administrative Council are convening a vision task force to take the church into this new era, this post-COVID era, with all the excitement and the things that we've learned and the things we want to grow and change. And I will be with pride and expectancy watching from afar to see how you live into that. Even so, I move into a season at Pella, where I had a chance to meet with them last week and see what they're excited about and meet their leadership and get to know what their mission and vision are and see what time it is for them. And so I hope that in this season of transition in the church life, and certainly you have transitions in your own life, that you will take some time to say, what time is it? What time is it? I have to think, after we've been through the long slog of COVID, that on a lot of these, what time it is a joyful time. Not a time to mourn, but a time to dance. Not a time to weep. We did that. This is a time to laugh. A time to heal. A time to build up. And a time to love. And so we know that all things happen for a season. And that can be a long season, that can be a joyful season in your life, but we also have those seasons where things are drier. As we enter a drought right now, we know that at least during a dry season, the roots grow deeper. So take stock of what time it is, take stock of what season you are in, what season you're entering. And I know for me, for the church, as we enter a new season, God is at the center, and that's what excites me most as we all seek to grow in whatever season we're in. Folks, this has been a joy to be able to do this. 16 months ago, when everything shut down, we said, how are we going to connect with people? The Wednesday Pastor Check-In came out of that. I've learned a lot, and I hope that you've been able to journey. And so I would, as we always have, invite you to drop a line below. Let us know that you are here and accounted for, and any prayer requests you might have, ways you need us to reach out and care for you. I love you all dearly. And it's not goodbye, but see you later. God bless.